same number of eggs, but are they going to be as viable?
And with walleye, they are. The OSU research showed clearly, physiologically, they are. Now, the other question is, does every female produce eggs and drop them every year? They don't. We have females reabsorbing eggs. How many of you have seen a female in June, July, full of eggs?
One thing I haven't seen though is small fish today. They're just not as noticeable.
Now that might be a population reaction. When you get lower populations, you'll have females becoming mature earlier, and we'll see a little bit of that. We saw.
Every one I've ever seen in June or early July that have eggs.
Oh, you're saying the ones that have them later are smaller fish?
No, the ones that I found with the eggs, it was usually
Bigger.
big female, old females. Now, I guess maybe the smaller ones just don't create such a belly.
So you notice it?
When they're noticeable so much. I mean, they look like footballs, but even then, when you cut them open,
We don't know much about it, but we know distinctly that not every female drops her eggs every year, obviously. I mean, we catch them when they're reabsorbing it. So is that a
they're the ones that don't have Obamacare.
They don't have Obamacare.
Yeah, there's one to say liability. I don't know if there's studies that looked at different species, but you know, it's the hatchery people, I think, the trout hatchery people that kind of got us started on that. I mean, for decades, hatcheries got rid of their older females and replaced them with smaller females. So there's a lot of guys like to do that too.
Put that one on the wall. That's what's going on the wall.
It'll be interesting to see if there's the same with salmonids.
We know a lot about physiology, about length versus weight, length and weight versus age, characteristics of eggs and sperm. What we don't know are the kind of ecology, population level stuff that happens as far as why do fish spawn where they do each year, what makes a decision where and when to spawn. We got the 03-year class out of the smallest population we've seen in a long time. Was that a population trigger that we had more eggs dumped than usual because the numbers were low and the fish reacted? Or was that just the perfect weather year and all the larvae ended up in the right place? The ecology kind of stuff, I don't know that we'll ever nail it down 100%. Some of that's nature, some of that plays itself out. Yeah.
Let's say for the next 6 years, we have 4 more year classes.
Yep.
Is there any thought, talk, or looking beyond the stocking?
So stocking is the next obvious question. If you have fewer, why don't you put more in? There's a couple of big hurdles there. One is the easiest thing to do is to get a bunch of eggs, fertilize them, and produce a bunch of larvae. Larvae are easy to produce. You can produce millions, tens, hundreds of millions. Dump them all in. Problem is, one, right away we're changing the genetics makeup of the lake. Even if we get it from a Lake Erie stock, we still don't know what combinations of what stocks go into the overall population. The genetics are an issue. The two is, if you dump those, say you dump 100 million fry in there, you pick the number. If you dump them in as fry, at the time they're fried, they're going to be subjected to the same environmental conditions as the hatch fry. So if it's a bad year for the hatch fry, stock fry are going to die too. So then the next step is, all right, stock fingerlings fall into these season fingerlings as big fish, stop them after all the environmental stuff's happening. Now you're talking about egg hatching, pond rearing, feeding those pond reared fish, and trying to stock something on the order of 20, 30 million 6-inch fall fingerlings. We're probably talking about thousands of acres of ponds, probably more. I don't know. That, and we've always said if that was necessary and we needed the money, we could do it. I don't know if we could. I don't know if we could stock fall fingerlings in the numbers we need to stock, just based on the logistics and money to raise them.
For example, in Lake Ontario, between what the state does, New York State, and what the Charter Captains Association has done to raise those upriver and then release them. Between controlling the got a real nice thing going on.
Oh, sure, and there, I should have said too, there are instances, Saginaw Bay, was it Buffalo, what's the river in New York, Buffalo, it's not the Niagara, it's one of the tributaries in New York, Buffalo River, I think it is. There are examples of stocking being used as to rehabilitate, where a spawning stock is threatened or lost and they brought it back. The problem is, if you're talking about simply stocking walleye to maintain the Erie population at the levels we're talking about maintaining them, I personally don't believe it's possible. Now, could we rehabilitate a stock, say it's Dusky River stock, falls even lower than it is now? Say we get that dam out, but it's too late. Could you possibly get Dusky River genetics and stock to rehabilitate that stock circle that ever fell at a drastically low level as
But
possible?
don't you, for example, you take the Sandusky Bay, you take the rivers, you take the habitat that's available there for what you're just talking about. Don't you think that would significantly improve the population of the city?
But then you're back to talking about most likely stocking larvae or young siblings.
Well, what's wrong with the Sandusky Bay? I mean, I think that's a perfect area for it.
We have a lot of fish spawning